following episode may contain discussions of sensitive and potentially distressing topics, including but not limited to mental health issues, suicide, death, domestic violence, child abuse, sexual assault, physical violence, and other traumatic experiences. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This content is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all listeners. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by guests are of their own and not necessarily Burning Bridges podcast. By continuing to listen or view this episode, you acknowledge and accept that the hosts, producers, and associated parties are not liable for any distress, harm, or losses, emotional, psychological, or otherwise, that may result from the content discussed. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you or someone you know is in crisis and needs help now, call 000 within Australia or Lifeline on 131114 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Lowen, and now over to Randall. He's got some pace. Can't get away from Walker, and he loses it. And now here goes Roth down the touchline. Gumming, Joe Roth gives it to Walker. Walker, he's going to back himself. What a try! What a try, Andrew Walker!
Our guest is recognised as the first Indigenous Australian to achieve dual international status in Rugby League and Rugby Union. He made his debut for the Australian National Rugby League team in 1996 and later represented the Wallabies in Rugby Union starting in 2000. He is the first to transition from representing Australia in Rugby League to Rugby Union at the international level. He was the pioneer among Indigenous Australians to do so. His groundbreaking achievement has paved the way for future generations of Indigenous athletes to excel in both codes of rugby. Welcome, Andrew Walker. We are truly honoured to have you with us today. Wow, that must feel really out of this world to be the first of something in history.
Look, I didn't plan out to be like that. It just happened, you know what I mean? And just with my life coming through. When I say thanks for having me on Burning Bridges today, you know what I mean? It's a really good podcast. I really wanted to come on here and speak my mind and speak some probably wisdom probably into some people out there listening. They don't have to take it on board. But if I say one word, it might help somebody.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really proud to be here today.
Thanks, Andrew. It's awesome to have you here, Walks. And we've been talking for a bit. I've known you for over 10 years or so now. So
You certainly have, T. Yeah.
It's obviously an honour to even know you and have you as a friend.
Well, we worked, like you said, I think it was probably 15 years ago now. We worked together at Camboon in Ipswich.
Yeah.
And that's how I got to know you and me, you and the old Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were the Free Musket.
threesome.
Yeah, the free. Yeah, he's working at the hospital.
Yeah.
And the Free Musketeers they called us.
Yeah.
But we got our job done and we really worked well there. And it was an honour to work with you, bro. We done really well.
So, where did you grow up?
Well, where I grew up was a place called Bomaderry. Probably an hour and a half. People probably don't know where it is. An hour and a half from Wollongong, down the south. You know what I mean? It's probably two and a half hours from Sydney, and it's called. The closest town would be Nowra. You know what I mean? But we were like, it was like states. It was like Queensland versus New South Wales down there. It was across the bridge. So we were, and I grew up with youngest of 13 in my family. And
Wow.
A really big family, and one of my brothers represented Canberra in his career, and it was a really lovely family. Dad and mum and dad brought us up really well and very tough, so very tough, and there was no easy pathway for us, I think.
Yeah. Do you have a fond memory of your childhood?
Well, the fond memories that I used to have as a kid was loving all my family, having all them around, because it wasn't always 13 of us. there was probably about maybe 8 of us living in the house. You know what I mean? 'Cause the older ones grew up, then moved on, and so the fondest memory I had was all playing rugby league in a backyard, Dickie Johnson's yard. Like it was only, I think it was 10 by 10 metre backyard. Sort of, it wasn't but I'll tell you what, we ended up playing tackle footy, and we used to put people through the fence. And I was the youngest, and my brothers always said, if you want to play with the big boys, you got to play by the rules. And I went, yeah, okay. And I think that's how I grew up, being the toughest, youngest individual, because there was no mercy on me. You know what I mean? And also, if the game if the people come, like we started off with so many kids, but if the people come, we'd end up on the road. You know what I mean? Because we'd end up with probably 13 of us. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, when they heard there's a game of footy on, they used to come. Really come. So that's how we learned. And the rules were touch on the road, and once we ran on the sideline, on the path, there was no paths back then. There was just grass. It was tackle. And I was always running I was always actually running not on the road because it was too slippery. I'd run on the grass and try to take them on, but I'd get lifted. I'd absolutely get whacked. And one time I cried. Actually, I got really whacked and cried. My brother came over and said, "You cry, I'm going to crack you in a minute," And I went, "Oh, shit, I better not cry, Wipe them tears and get in there and hit that ball up again." And I went, "Do I have to?" "You got to now." He went, "You got to." And probably the best football in our crew was probably the Richard. Like he was only playing 18. He was 18 years of age, playing first grade, and back then, that was tough footy, really tough footy. But the funny part of him, he had them big Graham Eady ankle boots. He thought he was Graham Eady. He loved Graham Eady. He still loves Manly to this day. I was only talking about it. It's his birthday today, actually. I rung him and he's going, "Oh, bloody Manly." And I went, "What happened?" I turned it off. I turned it off half time. I thought you had it won on Friday night. "Oh, don't even talk about it, bud." "Oh, yeah, fair enough. But Richard, he was the one. I thought he was going to be the one that really excelled and really drove the Walker name. But unfortunately, he actually broke his leg, and at 18. And back then, they gave him wrong prescriptions. They really gave him wrong prescription, and he was in a mental institution over a broken leg. And that was the toughest part in my career, is going, wow, what? He broke his leg, and now he's in Goulburn mental institution because they gave him the wrong tablets. You know what I mean? And thank God he's doing really well today. It's his birthday. I've only got two brothers left, and we decided to take a road trip. To the Melbourne Cup this year. The three of us, because myself's a bit of a punter, Richard's a punter, and Dean, he doesn't know how to drive. So we're going to make him drive. You know what I mean? We're going to get him behind the wheel and to drive, and that's our November trip. It's going to happen this year.
Yeah. Have you been down there before?
No, this is going to be our first trip together. Yeah. We've always wanted to do it together, as brothers. Yeah. But you know what I mean, different circumstances, different times, and you know what I mean, and different lives, I suppose. Yeah. But now we've planned it because it's just us three. You know what I mean? It's only us three boys left. You know what I mean? Out of the boys, and the others were had a pretty dark path, and I just don't think they could have got out of it. So that's why it's probably how it's been, it's happening this day, this present day, how it's going to be working out.
Yeah, and you still got sisters.
Yeah, got all my sisters.
Got
all my sisters. But one's a little bit crook at the moment. She's in hospital. Yeah, so my older sister, like she's the older sister, like she's very crook. I've tried to touch base with them, and but my cousin's going in to see her today, and she's at down in Maria. Like she's going to touch base with her today, and let me know, because everyone's living in New South Wales, and I'm in Queensland, so that's why the old Facebook's good to touch base. You know what I mean? Like, but I love them from a distance.
Yeah.
Do you catch up much?
Well, we'd like to, we'd like to now. Like, we really would like to now, because we just think life's too short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, life's too short now, and we just want to, really just probably fill our memories with really good memories. You know what I mean? Because back then it wasn't a really, everyone was traumatised back then. You know what I mean? Because that's why we love each other now. You know what I mean? Because we miss our dearly mum and dad. And Dad was the hard case. You know what I mean? Like he was a bit of a boxer, and he always wanted to push us in the boxing. You know what I mean? And that's where I said, I said the wrong thing one time. I said, well, no wonder why you got no brains. And he went, what do you say, boy? And next minute, he looked at Mum, and I went, oh, Mum's going, you're in trouble, my boy. So he took me at the back and actually flogged me. And I walked in and went, I would never ever say that again. And so that's how that was. Yeah, so but I wouldn't change it for the world. You know what I mean? Because it's, I think it was a discipline in back them days. You know what I mean? Like today, these kids are wrapped up in cotton wool. You know, these days, like if we flog them, like we get locked up. You know what I mean? And that's how. Like for us back then, like we got disciplined pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like we learned quick, and we said, "Oh, we'll never do that again." So that's how I learned. That's how I learned to be disciplined. And but I've worked off six characters in my career. You know what I mean? I had 6 characters in my career that set me up in a pathway where I was the best. You know what I mean? I learnt off them. I was the youngest, I was learning off them. Oh, well, because to be honest, there was 4 contracts out there for my brothers. Like Richard would have been the best. He wanted to go. Like he had a contract with Manly, not West, and that was sort of the closest to us in Campbelltown, I think it was. He was ready to go, but he broke his leg, and that's when he ended up in a mental institution because they gave him the wrong medicine. And there was and with that there, but one of our nieces, Rebecca, that was John's, my other brother's daughter. We used to call him Uncle Ninny, and she come along one time, and she walked into the hospital, and she goes, "Uncle Ninny, I want you home." And next minute he snapped out of it. Like, this is an amazing story. Like, he snapped out of it. What am I doing here? Like, he went, what am I doing here? And the next week, we brought him home. Like, it was just it was like a healing or a miracle, you know what I mean? It's just a miracle. A miracle, like just that, Uncle Ninny, what are you doing? You know, because we called him Uncle Nin. And it was just so much just wow. Like we brought him home, and I was in the car that day, and I was only a young bloke. I was in tears and crying and going, my big brother's home, you know what I mean? Like my big brother's home, and I loved him, and you know what I mean? So he was the one I looked up to because he was the footballer. Yeah. And well, like I was saying, there was 4 contracts. John, he had a contract with West again. He was the hard case. Like, if he ran your way, you'll get knocked clean out. You know what I mean? Like, he was just tough, like tough as bullets. But he had that mean streak. He had that darkness about him. He was always in jail. He had the darkness, real darkness about him. You know what I mean? Because I think he sort of wanted to be. He sort of was the next in line to look after us. That's how it come across to me. because Dad couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Well, Dad would teach us the hard way, like the sort of undisciplined way. You know what I mean? If someone mouthed off, he'd crack them. You know what I mean? But John would go in, are you talking about my family? You want to say sorry? Or he'd be the intimidator. He'd be like Jack the Muss. You know what I mean? And that was him. But he was always in jail. You know what I mean? Like he had a dark side of him. And that's it. He always thought he was loved in there, loved in jail, not loved outside. You know what I mean? And that's when and I sort of broke it down with him. I said, brah, I love you. And I said, I'll always keep telling you I love you. And he goes, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And I said, mate, because I do. Because I think I was breaking walls down with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he really got it in the end, you know what I mean? But he had the darkest path. He thought he had to take on the father figure for everyone. You know what I mean? Like if someone mucked up or if someone messed with his family, he'd go and deal with it. You know, but he wouldn't deal with it without telling us. He'd be behind the scenes, and then we'd find out it the next couple of days. And he'd be going, he'd come home, but he'd sit. I sort of knew every time he was going to jail, sort of, because he'd come home, sit with us, and just go, like sit around, you know, like they used to drink and everything else and carry on and do what they got to do. And that's how it was. Like he'd have his little party, last little party before he's going. He's going for so long, you know. And I just knew every time he'd come home, and I said, and I look at him and go, "You didn't, did you?" "Yes, you know I did. You know I have to." He goes. And I said, "Yeah, true. No one else is going to do it, are they?" You know. And Ivan he loved his soccer. You know, he loved his soccer. He wanted to play for the Wollongong, I think they were Wollongong Wolves. And he loved his soccer and rah, and but he was a quiet achiever. He was actually the quiet achiever, like, don't wake the giant on him or he's really gonna mess you up. And Dad found out that, you know what I mean? Like Dad found out that. And Dad found out a little bit, well, holy shit, I got knocked clean out, didn't I? You know, he walked inside. Well, we had to drag Dad up, you know, and Ivan's just inside. Well, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. You know, he shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Because we could all fight. Because we always, well, Dad always said, well, he's going to be boxers. And I went, no, I don't want to be a boxer. You know what I mean? I want to go my own sport. But the boys had to. You know, the older boys had to, because if they didn't, they were getting flogged anyways.
It's just bred into them, mate.
It was just absolutely bred into them. And Alf was sort of the one that kicked it off for me. Alf was sort of he played at the Raiders with Craig Bellamy, Bellyache, and Ivan Enjak, I think it was, and Chris O'Sullivan in under 23s. And I went, oh wow, there's my other second idol. You know what I mean? Like, and I just, well, I didn't like school. So I didn't really like school at all. So I said to Alf, I want to come and live with you. Because he goes, why? Why do you want to come and live with me? I said, look what you're wearing, Raiders. I want to be a footballer. You know what I mean? I want to be a footballer. So I said to him, he said to me, well, if you live with me, you got to live by my rules. And yeah, fair enough. So I went up there, lived with him for a bit up in Goulburn. And lived with him. Jumped on the bus. Like they'd have a bus from Canberra to come pick the boys up to go training under 23s, and I'd be on the bus with all the boys, like Sam Bacco and all the boys, like like I'm sitting dead set going, I was in me hall, you know what I mean? I said these Raiders, you know what I mean, the Raiders, and I'm going, wow, you know, because we were sort of all Raiders fans by then, you know what I mean? His brother played with Raiders.
Were you at this time?
Well, I was only probably 12 at the time. You know what I mean? 12, and I'm sitting on the bus with him, and like he's going, like I said, if you're going training, I'm coming. I'm coming, you know what I mean? You're going training, I'm coming. And his wife's going, he's going. because that's what he's coming here for. You know, I'm gonna put him in the Raiders. You know what I mean? He's gonna do this and do that. Like always, the wives have got something in store. You know what I mean? So that's how God bless her and my lovely sister-in-law, like up in heaven, Marion Freeman, and so I was at training with them all the time, like just you know what I mean, just watching them how they act and how they'd be. But after it, it was so funny. It was just all at Sam Bacco's house. It was all at Sam Bacco, and David Grant walks in, and I went, holy fuck! I went, look how tall and big this guy is. You know, he's like a bouncer. And I was only a little whippet, you know what I mean? And next minute, he walked, hey boy, what are you doing here? And Alf walks over and said, yeah, Granny, you got something to say? That's my brother. Granny just went, nah, bro, I've got nothing. Got nothing, you know what I mean? Because everyone knew because we could do that. We could actually fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like we could have been all boxers. That's honest. We could have been all boxers, but I'm glad we went to the football, you know what I mean? And Brother Dean, like he was the quickest I've ever seen. Quickest I've ever seen on the wing. He was only short, probably 5 foot something. You know what I mean? But quick, lightning. But the thing about him, he used to get the girls, and the brothers would come and steal them off him. Do you know what I mean? Like the brothers would come and steal it off him, and Brother Dean would go, because me and him was rooming together, like me and him had our room together, because the two youngest brothers, you know what I mean, like, and because he got some money, and he's on his payday, and we went and bought a black and white TV, you know what I mean, and there was one of them channel turn ones, and we used to sneak in there because being young as 13, you know what I mean, we never got the TV out in the lounge room. Like we had to go and get our TV, and we tuned in, you know, tuned in the room. Next minute we'd have all the girls in there, you know what I mean, let us watch TV, and come on you girls, like, come on, this is our TV, you know, like, but the girls would take over, say, get out you boys, get out, this is ours, you know, so they just watch their little, whatever, days of our lives or whatever it was, you know. So, but Dean had a good, he could have had a contract, but he, you know, for the whole lot of them, except Alfie, it was all about, I don't want to leave home. I don't want to leave home. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave home. I love it here. Because I think they didn't want to leave home because they didn't know any other environment. Yeah. That's what it was, any other environment. So they sort of stuck in their humbleness at home and didn't know any better, I suppose, or didn't know any other, or Dad and Mum didn't want to sort of teach us any other way. And for myself, it was 16. I learned off 6 characters, and I had my own, you know, and I actually went, nah, because I loved sitting down with my mum, you know, she was a Parramatta supporter, like I was sitting always in front here, like Mum would be there, like, and she'd be going, pulling my hair out, like when the team's going, oh no, Mum, do you have to really, you know, do you have to pull my hair out? Yeah, but my team's winning, son, you know. And I looked up at her and she actually says to me, can someone put our name in lights? Can someone put our name in lights? Because she pointed out this one and that one and that one and that one. They don't want to leave home. And they're still sitting around, you know, still sitting around. And so I looked up. I was probably 14 at the time. I said, Mum, I'll do it. She goes, that's a big responsibility, boy. I said, Mum, I think I've got big shoulders. I didn't know that at the time. But what happened is 16 years, I got to 16, 2 years after that. I went, righto, my best mate, come with me. I'm going for a trial. I said, I'm going to trial for Randwick in Sydney. And he's going, wake up yourself. We won't get there. But his name was Brett Stewart.
Yeah.
Best centre I've ever seen. He's living in Darwin now. He's my best mate. We keep in contact now these days. And I said to him, come on, we're killing it down here. Let's go up and have a trial. Let's trial it. Let's go up, just see what we can do. So me and him, we went up on the train. Took us 2.5 hours on the train, whatever, you know what I mean? We're only 16 years of age. We jumped the train, had no money, jumped the train. And I said, bruh, Randwick's down this way, I heard, Randwick's down this way, the oval down to Coogee. We didn't know how to get there. So we ended up walking from Central all the way to Coogee. And I saw the signs, you know what I mean? Like bush boys didn't know nothing in the city. And actually these people pulled up and, no, you're too right. And I went, yeah, we're fine. Do you know where Randwick is? You know where Randwick Rugby Union is? They ended up throwing us in the car and taking us down there. So next minute we walk in and we go, holy shit, who do we see? What do we do? So me the big noter, just walked up. I'm here for a trial. I'm here for a trial. Can I have a go here? Like, and Jeff Sale walks out. Saley walks out and goes, where are you from, my boy? And I said, I'm South Coast boy down in Nara, Bomaderry, I said. I gave him a Nara because everyone says, where's Bomaderry, you know what I mean? I said, well, Nara. I said, well, near Wollongong, I just said, because when we go Nara and Bomaderry, that's just completely different. That's like Queensland State of Origin in New South Wales, you know what I mean? Like that's just. And so I say Bomaderry. Next minute, my mate's going, Drew, let's get out of here. Let's go. Come on, let's go. We're here for the trial, aren't we? Let's just put our boots on and see what we do. So me and him, I said, I want to play 10 today. I don't care who's there. I'm playing 10. I'm just big noting my hole, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just big noting myself. I'm going, yes, I want to play 10. You're playing 12. Because if I didn't have that combination, I was lost.
So can you just explain what the position of 10 and 12 for those that
the position of the 10 and the 12 is like a lead 5'8" in the centre. But the 10 makes all the decisions, and that was me. You know what I mean? Because I knew I knew I was a cut above the rest. I just knew.
Yeah.
And when you're 16, you're cocky anyways. You know what I mean? And, well, I had that cockiness because of my upbringing, really. You know what I mean? I knew I could fight. I knew I could look after myself. But Mum was always the humble one. She'd bring me down to earth. She'd go, oh, you'll meet your match one day, boy. You'll meet your match. But with that there, so we trialled. We actually trialled. Next minute, we thought we'd done all right. And we just done, we done well. You know what I mean? Because we were playing against elite rugby people. Like we were playing under 14s, under 15s, and we're playing against men up here. And next minute, I grabbed the boots and shit, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're walking out the gate. And best mate goes, we had to go, brother. We had to go. I said, yeah, but we got to get home now, don't we?
Jump the train again.
Yeah, I said, we got to get home.
So what's jumping the train? So a lot of young ones these days probably wouldn't even know what jump the train is. Yeah. But we all used to do it when we were kids. So just explain what jumping the train is.
Well, jumping the train is like having no money, and when you got to get to somewhere, you got to get to somewhere. Like we're jumping in and we're jumping the train.
The carriage,
and we got the ticket. We got the ticket bloke coming through. Where's your tickets? So we're hiding everywhere, like in the toilets and in the toilets underneath the seats, because we're jumping the train. We want to get to our destination, but we got no money. So that's how jumping the train is. Yeah. Because we used to do it all the time, like just going for, surfing. Like we was coasty peoples. We loved surfing, you know what I mean? Like we've always jumped the train to Kiama to go surfing. Or if it wasn't Kiama, we'd ride our bike 16 k's to Shoalhaven Heads. Like, and that's how it was. But we used to go for the skirt out there as well, you know what I mean? The girlfriends, you know what I mean? Try to find find the girls. Like, we ride 16 Ks. We're like dogs on heat. Like riding 16 Ks. We done that probably, well, adding all up, probably 200 times. Like, that was our probably exercise, but we didn't know it at the time. But if one did it, our whole group followed.
Yeah.
And there was a few times there, like, we steal bikes to get there or get home. Like, some of us used to hitchhike out there. Like, I used to hitchhike out there but steal a bike to ride back because I was late at night, because I used to, you know, go wandering, you know what I mean, try to find, you know, one of them girls that we couldn't have. You know, one of them girls we couldn't have. Like, it was all about cultural barriers.
Yeah, true.
Back then it was all about cultural barriers, but next minute we go, no, I want that girl over there, you know, and I want that girl over there. You can't have her. I want her. Like, that's how it was. If I wanted something,
yeah,
I'd put my whole mind to it.
And what would happen, like, so you're saying that you couldn't have them. So explain more into detail about why is that?
Back then there was black and white.
Yeah.
There's still black and white today. But back then was a whole lot different, a whole lot black and white. You know what I mean? Like, blacks, even though we owned this land, we couldn't have anything by the white standard people. And that's how it was. You know what I mean? It was just black and white, and it still is today. But if we knew the words, what's going to help us today would have helped me back then. But they always just thought, you know, if we niggle these black fellas, they'll just punch and we'll get them locked up. But now, you know what I mean? Now these days, it's the other way around. Because it was that's a really good question, T, because that's how I learnt my life. You know what I mean? Like, they've already put me in a category, put me in a box. They already put me in a box. I'll play that card. Because my mum said to me, if you're going to be a whole lot wiser and take off and do what you got to do, I need to skill you up in these things. You know, she was a wise person, my mother. Like, she goes, here, I've got to skill you up. If you're going up there to trial and doing all these things, what your best weapon is, your binans, your ears, your ears. And I went, why, Mum? Because you know what? She said to me, a black fella's a very knowledgeable black person. But if you can listen and learn how you get stuff, how the white, she said it like this, how the white people word it differently to us. If you can hear that, you can have the promised land. You can have the promised land, and which I did. I humbled myself. I already put myself in a category because they've already put me in the box. I'll play the card, and I'm just listening away. Going, oh, really? Is that how you do it? Oh. I'm sitting there just, oh, yeah, dumb black fellow over here just sitting here. Young boy sitting here just, I'm not that, but I'm all ears. I'm all ears. So, and I think that's how my life started kicking off at 16. And with that, well, we sort of off topic there, and we said it and off topic when we went there, but with that rugby union thing, me and my mate was walking out, ready to go home, and I just said, we had a crack, you know, we had a dead set crack. Next minute, we're walking out, mate, and brother goes, how are we getting home? I said, what do you reckon? We're going to have to walk back there and jump the train, you know? Like, this is the way we got to do it, you know? No one's going to help us. Next minute, Jeff Sale walks out. Hey, you Steve. What? You looking at it? We went like that. You went, sure, you looking at us? You Steve. And he goes, you's only two standing here, aren't you? And I went, yeah. And I went, yeah, sir. You know what I mean? Because he was a white fellow. Yeah, sir. Yeah, what? You're going nowhere. You two are going nowhere. And I went, what do you mean? What do you mean we're going nowhere? I said, we're going home. I said, we're going home. Next minute, my mate goes, shut up, Andrew, shut up. I went, no, I've got to ask him questions. Like he could be stranger danger stuff, you know, stranger danger stuff. Like don't talk to them, fella, you know what I mean? He could be like, all right, because my mate was sort of half casty. I sort of, you know, my instincts kicked in. I went, wait, they're to come to take you, you know what I mean? Like, wait, you know, and he's gone, shut up, Andrew, shut up. They called me Drew then, you know what I mean? No, I won't shut up if someone's, you know, telling me, hey, wait. And he goes, I said, what, sir? He goes, I want you to come play for Randwick. And that's when I went, I looked at my mate like I went, wow. So I said, but me, going, oh yeah, I'm hungry. How am I going to get home? I'm thinking this, you know what I mean? I'm thinking this. My mate's going, yes, we made it. I said, we haven't made anything. We've got to prove ourselves yet, you know. Like this is just a trial, you know. We've got to prove ourselves. So he goes, righto, go home. I'll get in contact with us. So I said, how are we getting to the train station? We're starving and everything else. So he gives us a feed, give us money, get to the train. He actually drove us to the train station, Central. So we had tickets to go home. Like we didn't have to jump the train, you know. We were sitting up real proud, you know what I mean? Like letting the ticket man, yeah, that ticket, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Here's our ticket. And so there it is, you know what I mean? And that's how my career sort of kicked off. But with my one when I was going surfing and trying to find the girls, like my best mate had this lady, white girl, you know what I mean, at school. And, you know, black and white back then could not fathom being together. Knowing me, I'd have to come over and start the conversation between the two of them. Like I was dead set, come over. You two going to talk? What? You going out with each other? You know what I mean? Like you going out with each other. Like don't let this black and white stuff. You know, I said to them, don't let this black and white stuff because everyone looked at us. You know, looked at them. You know what I mean? Looked at them like they shouldn't be together. They shouldn't be together. I said, don't give a shit about them. You like each other. Start talking. So to be honest, I ended up with her. And I'm still with her to this day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I'm with her to this day. And what more can I say? I love her. I love her immensely. I don't know how she puts up with me. That's honest. She's got to have a crazy mind like myself, I think, put up with me. But it was just a good combination, I think.
It's a lovely story about, you know, how you met your wife. It's good.
Well, how I met my wife was a history excursion. And, I sort of had to, you know, I had to get the conversation going between Jamie, my best mate, and Leona. Like, one time I'd walk over and I'd go, you sure you two going out together? Like, that was one, you know, they had the log seats, you know what I mean, the log seats. Yeah. One was sitting there, and I'm thinking, why are you two just staring at each other? It's not a mirror in here. It's not a mirror image, you know what I mean, or black and white talk. So I'd have to come and just start the conversation. And that's how me and Leona really, you know. And
so did you lose your friendship with Jamie?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It would be dirty on you.
100%. Like, we ended up fighting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but this is how it happened. Like, the history excursion, year 9, Jamie didn't come on the history excursion. He didn't come on the history excursion. We were on year 9 history excursion. One thing led to another. Jamie wasn't there, so I had that combination, you know, that connection with Leona. So we're sitting on the bus. Going, she's talking about Jamie, and I went, yeah, I'm sad he's not here, you know what I mean? And just one thing led to another. Yeah. And we're talking about, like, New South Wales to Victoria, like, that's a good bus trip. So we really got to know each other. You know what I mean? Really got to, and my best mate, Brad, he's sitting behind me. Cut 23, and I'm going, shut up. And talking about cut 23, that was a move. That was a move we had in our rugby. But it's saying, you cutting the grass, yeah, you're cutting the grass. And I'm saying, shut up. Oh, and she's going, Leona's going, why was he saying that? And I said, oh, that's the best move we ever had on the field. You know what I mean? And it actually worked.
That's me scoring the try.
Yeah. Well, I did score. I did score 5 tries. You know, with great tries. So, yeah. So, and that's how. And we come home. We actually come home on the history excursion, and she's telling me, how am I going to tell Jamie? And I said, you're not going to tell him. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him, like. But it wasn't official that we weren't going out. It was just mutual friends. But I'm going to tell him that I've got a feeling for you. So Jamie decided to throw the first punch. And I went, oh, please don't. Don't hit me because you know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I towelled him up and he never come to school ever again because he was scared. So me and Leona was just, we kept playing on. It was 6 to go, you know what I mean, to me. 6 to go, like I made this great combination. It's a long trip from New South Wales to Victoria. And the thing was, for me, like, it was so hard because her father was Scottish and her mother was white. And that there did not, that wasn't
didn't approve of the relationship?
That wasn't in their vocabulary. You know, not black and white. And it still is to this day. Still is to this day. But, you know what I mean? Like I just said, well, I've been with Leona, since I was 15. We got married at 20. Wow. And that's my soulmate. You know what I mean? That's my soulmate. And all them years being together, I don't know how I did it. I had to block the father and mother out. I had to block it out because I loved her. But I had to sit on the fence as well. You know what I mean? I had to sit on the fence. Hate's a big word for me. Dislike. You know, I dislike their parents. I still do to this day. And because I had to fight for her. I had to fight for everything in my life. Yeah. With my career, you know what I mean, being called this, that along the way. But I had to block it out. And that's why my mum humbled me and taught me how life should be, you know. And that's why I praise God that she's with me every day. Because we've been with Leona, it wasn't a hard thing, but love conquers all. You know what I mean? Love conquers all. Like we loved each other. And the mother come to a sense a little bit, like because she had to, or she was going to lose her daughter. You know, the father, I couldn't give two rats. You know what I mean? Like I had to be on the fence for both of them. You know what I mean? Like for them two, for Leona's case and the parents. With my family, you know what I mean? Like it was very hard when we got married. Like they walked in with a pretend smile. You know what I mean? And pretended to be happy that night. But it wasn't about them. It was about me and my lovely wife today just enjoying, embracing because what happened when on our first kid, Cherie, the oldest one earlier with the clothing, you know what I mean? Like, and we was talking about it too. The first daughter, like, we broke up. Me and Leona broke up because the father. You know, we had to. And I didn't go to school. Like, I knew what I wanted to become. I actually knew what I wanted to be. I didn't want to stay at school, hated school. I went, no, I want to be a footballer. I want to put Walker's name up in lights. That was my goal. That was my last ever promise to my mother. And and how they come apart was with Leona. Like we had our first kid. It weren't supposed to happen. It just happened. You know what I mean? I was 16 years of age. Oh, 15. She was 15. You know what I mean? And 2 years later, 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 2 her parents found out that she was pregnant, and her father said, "That bloke will have nothing to do with you or that kid." And she come to me. I was at my best mate Brett Stewart's place. I used to hang out with him a fair bit, and she come up there over lunchtime, and I went, "Holy shit! Look at the belly you're getting." I didn't even know she was pregnant. Wow. And she goes, "Oh, you don't have to be I don't want you here. I don't want you to be part of it." And I went, "Wake up to yourself. That's my kid. If that's my kid, I'm gonna take the responsibility. I'm taking responsibility of that. Like, I'm a man of my honour. Like, if someone does that to someone and walks away, they're not a man. You know what I mean? Like I said, look, I was only a kid being a man, trying to grow up in a man's world real fast. And what happened? I said, no, I want every damn rights to be with that kid. That's my kid. She goes, really? And she broke down, and I went, no, I want to be it. I want to be the father of that kid. I don't want you on your own. Because I saw my older sisters like that. You know what I mean? I seen their pain and knowing how they felt, and I went, no. And I just felt how I felt with my parents. When they're together, you're so happy.
Yeah.
You're just happy. And that's how that was. I wanted to be that, Cherie's father. And till this day, like, we tussled, me and the father, every time. Like, he hung around Bob O'Reilly and all them. He was in Parramatta, Bob O'Reilly, the big bear, and all that. Like, he could fight a bit. Like, me and him had a few good cracks. You know what I mean? Just again, look, I'm not here for you, my friend. I'm here for your daughter. Like it or not, I said, she's coming with me. Like it or not, you're going to lose her in the end. But the mother sort of had to just break one fence, I think, one hurdle, just to go, Ian, we're going to lose this girl, and we're going to lose her properly. You know what I mean? And that's why this day, karma come back on him, I think. He's got dementia. And, I loved him for what he done to, he brought that lovely lady into the world for me. And Leona always said, do you want to go and see him? I went, Said, I want to know him how I used to know him. I don't want to go in and feel sad for him. But it's all about forgiveness as well. Yeah. But I don't want to see him like that. I'd rather see him as a hard, humble man. Do you know what I mean? Like the hard, humble man that you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to do this. Because I was the black fella. I was the drug addict, and I was the alcoholic. That's what he heard off his friends. Little did he get to know me, but when he did get to know me, he goes, holy shit, you are a man of your words. You know what I mean? Like, I went 16 years of age. Not many 16-year-old blokes will go, that's my family. I'm going to look after them and love them and give them the best life ever. And that's when I said to Leona, she got her first car. I said, you got to drive me up to Sydney every time. So that was our main trip. Well, our car was $300, right? Old Kingswood Premier with blood. We bought it with blood in the window. Someone died in it. You know what I mean? Like, that was our car. And so I said, babe, you got your license? Yeah. Because one night she actually drove in. I was thinking, how'd you get in here? How? It's freaking 8:30 at night. I said, how'd you get in here? There's no bus. She goes, you know what? She parked the car round the corner, shame job. Shame job because there was no grill. There was no grill on the Kingswood. You know what I mean? It was all dinnered up. And next minute I'm going, where's this car? Let's go. You know what I mean? We're out of here. Next minute we're off. Next day, all the little crew of my crew, you got a car? We're going to the beach. Righto, get in. There was about 12 of us in this Kingswood, the Premier with the free seats. We had about 5 in the front. 5 in the big long seats. You had 5 in the front, and then we had, the rest 8 in the back. And we didn't not give a shit. We'll go into the beach, you know what I mean? And Leona's saying, if I'm white, I'm right. I'm right. And that's her saying to this day. So we went, I'm white, but I'm not right. I kept saying, yep. And so never got pulled up, nothing. You know what I mean? Back then.
Good day.
So,
Yeah. And so what was the pathway for you playing professional?
Well, the pathway for me was, like I said, I was that bloke that took that opportunity, and wanted to put my name up, and like just went up there just for a trial. You know what I mean? Went up there for a trial, and that's how the pathway happened. Praise of God, I don't know how it happened, but it did happen. I was a cocky young shit, but it happened. But the pathway was, I ended up playing first grade, 16 years of age, playing with the likes of Lloyd Walker, David Campese, Simon Poinovan, Eddie Jones, Ewan McKenzie. We had a great year that year, actually. Like, I played for Randwick playing first grade at 16 years of age. I was playing 10. My mate couldn't actually get it because Lloyd Walker was playing 12. You know? And I think he actually took me under his wing. And that's why I love Lloyd Walker to this day. I love him because he taught me everything about rugby. I used to live at his that year. Well, we both went up there. We both went up to Randwick, and they got us a place to stay. We're working at the paper mill, you know what I mean? But they give us a day. One of us had day shift, and I had the night shift, and it didn't really work with the both of us. We weren't seeing each other. You know what I mean? And like I'd have the. Well, I was short of money anyways, because on the Tuesdays and Thursdays I'd train. I wasn't working. So my mate, he'd work the day shift because he was going, I don't know, because he had a white lady too, but she was a little bit, if you don't bloody come home, you know what I mean? She done that trick on him. And I went, bruh, don't do it. I said, there's plenty of fish in the sea. We'll have them soon. Because I was sort of, I don't know, a little bit older in the head, I think, because I think I was...
You had your eye on the prize.
Well, it wasn't sort of so much that I knew I was good, but the thing was for me that I had so many characters in my life that are older that taught me along the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they talked to me like I wasn't a kid. I was an adult to them. They talked to me like an adult, and that's how I learnt, I think. That's how I grew up faster than I should have. You know what I mean? Because Brett Kanga, I call him, he grew up with a better lifestyle than what I had. Well, you know what I mean? Like the parents had jobs, you know what I mean? They was they were set up. It wasn't like mine, you know what I mean? Like, had no structure, had no, pathway with dad where, put them, So ours was a little bit all over the shop. So, but that's how I learnt, I think.
Yeah. What was it like? Okay, let's just go down this path. As in, what was it like as a young black kid growing up with your football teams you played in? I don't know if they were a lot of black fellas playing in your teams or what.
To be honest,
was it like back then?
I was 16 years of age. Like I played with all my mates up till I was 15. Then they saw me as a different kettle of fish. You're too good for that. You're too good for that. So I've always played first grade ever since I was 16. 16 years of age. And I got picked for the representative teams. You know what I mean? There was no black fellas in there. And I was a kid playing with men. But like I said, I think my family brought me up by taught me how to be an adult before I was an adult. I think that was my learning. That was my learning mechanism, I think, along the way, because I'd always be on my own. Like, I played first grade ever since 16. I never went back. There was no way looking back. Like, once I shut that door, I was going forward. So that's how that was. Like, I always played with men. I've made the New South Wales country team, and thank God we had a great manager that coached us, Jack Allen, that really believed in my skill. He's at home down in there. I praise to God, if I didn't have him, I thought I'd never make it, because he was the one going, yes, you can do that, you can do that. Like, he was just keeping me accountable, saying, yes, you can do it. Because if I didn't have that, I was going back home. I was going back home to live. And I was always in playing first grade, right? But I always had playing with men. That always put me in a category. Always put me in a category. I'm black. But I was always on my own. Always on my own. That's why I'm on my own to this day. But I've got a lovely wife. I've got a lovely family that cares for me, and that's all I care for. That's all I'm worried about, because they put me in a category and I played that card. I'd play that card. But how my career started was I was playing with men that knew how to play football, not playing with kids, playing with men. And that's why I become the first dual. First Indigenous dual, you know what I mean? And I always said, I want my name up in the lights because of my mother, but I want to be something different. I want to be the first. I want to be this. I want that. I want this. I want to put my name not here. That's how my drive was, I think, just from my mother. Just put my name, because youngest of 13. Who was going to put our name up there? We were all talented. Even the girls were good runners, like lightning. My younger sister, mate, she could run. But unfortunately, kids come in and sort of broke that up, you know what I mean? Yeah. And she didn't have the same drive that I had. But I think it was just how her life sort of went. She couldn't escape that always. Yeah, I just said, no, I've got to get away. Well, after I had my oldest daughter, that's when I went, I can't bring my daughter up in this situation. I said, no way in the world I'm going to do that. I was so traumatised from the alcohol, fighting, abusing, everything else. And that's why I said, I will not bring her up in that environment, never, ever. Made a promise to myself. Made absolutely a promise to myself I would not do that. Because how much trauma I had and how much scared I was. You know what I mean? To go for a 16-year-old kid, I don't think any 16-year-old kid would do that right now. Would go out in the world and go, I want to make a living. But I did. It was hard enough back then, being black. But what I had, I think it was, I just blocked it out. I knew who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be early. Because the funny thing about that, if I say to people right now, look yourself in the mirror, and if you can't walk away from that mirror and reflect on what you just saw, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose so much. Because to anybody, I say it to anybody, if you look yourself in the mirror and you can't see the image, what you just saw, and you walk away and go, who was that? It's not going to work. You got to find your identity, who you are and what you are. And I found that pretty early, I think, because I put it down to my family, putting me and learning and learning, but I put my own touch to it. My own touch to it. That's why I'm deadly today. You know what I mean? Like, deadly today.
You mentioned just before about the traumas of alcohol as obviously things you experienced when you were a young child. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, it's about the alcohol, right? It's like anything. Alcohol changes people. And it wasn't in our DNA to drink alcohol. Never, ever was it alcohol. Like, imagine if we were clean, free from alcohol today, which I am, like for 5 years, drug-free for 5 years, and just clear. Mate, we see the world in a different aspect. And we hear things. Like, I live in the bush. I live off-grid. I couldn't go back to normal life. I couldn't live in the house like this. This would drive me mad. Like, that's honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm a cultural person. And I believe God. That's the most powerful man you can have in you, beside you anywhere. Because you know what? He tells you what you want. He tells you what you need. And he provides for you. Like, I haven't worked for a long while, but he tells me by the birds, by the wind. I'm a cultural person. That's why I live on 80 acres with 16 horses. That's why I've got what I've got. My kids have got what they got because I've shown them along the way. They've got their own houses, got their own, I've shown them. I've taught my kids so well. But the trauma with the alcohol was, as a kid, it was traumatizing because every holiday, I remember every holiday, I just knew what was going on. Every time we jump in the car, we'd all end up at this beach, cousins, family, everything else. I just knew we were ended going, but I knew how it was going to end up. Every year. Mum and Dad didn't see that, but they had to follow the family thing. But Dad was the big one. He'd love it because he's always drinking, loves, and that's when he man up. When he's sober, couldn't get shit out of him. Didn't want to man up. Hide in his shell. But could fight. You know what I mean? Like, could fight. And that's how it was traumatised. Like, I just went, we're going to a place we're going, by the night's out, we're going to shaman's tent. We're boxing on. And with the old man, what really traumatised me, every time he drunk, we'd hear him coming home. We'd hear him like down the road, and the boys would be going, Mum, do you want me to do it? No. Mum would go, no, I don't. She'd take us down the bush. I don't want you to hear this. Don't want you, but we did. That's the trauma I had with the old man. He'd be nice to his friends and everybody else, but to us, we were enemies. We were dead set enemies. Like he'd say to us. I was sick one time, absolutely sick. Crook as a dog. I was probably 14, jumped in behind Mum, and he yelled out, "What, you're fucking your son now?" You know what I mean? So I jumped up, cracked him, and stomped him. And I never forgave myself for doing it. But there was a demon. There's a demon teaching him different lifestyle. That's what it was. It was a demon. But I had to get it because he'd come home and traumatised my mum, the one I loved so much. That's how the grog. I hate the grog. I don't want to be. That's why I don't want to be like that. I want to teach my family be the best pop, best father to them, because it's just a domino effect. I want to see a domino effect.
Thanks for sharing that with us. It's always hard going through that, especially as a child when you don't have control over it. That's where that's why I look at when you're a child, and that's why I feel for children so much, because children don't have control over their environment.
Yeah,
or
true
what
that.
happens.
True that too.
And that's where I see it's hard, and they think, and they grow up with that trauma, and it's stuck with them.
100%,
As
brother.
an attachment to them until they work through that.
Mm.
You got to work through it.
Because the big thing for me, I find too, is having God. Because he breaks a lot of walls down, a lot of barriers down on me. Like, there's times there, I'd go for my walk and I'd be just breaking down. But he's breaking down walls, barriers on me and making me feel again. Because it was hard for me to feel. It was really hard for me to feel for a long while. Because that's why I was a hard bloke. But I reminded myself, I don't want to be like my old man. Don't want to be like my old man. And that's why it was like, And I was a stubborn thing. And that's why I did it. I was opposite. And I just said, I don't want to put dead set fear in my kids like my dad did. So that's why I humble myself with them now. And I love them because life's too bloody short. You know, life's too bloody short to not have them around. And for the career I had, absolutely the career I had was I was a loner. But what other people didn't see, this black kid's got ability. You just got to listen to him. You've just got to watch him and listen to him. But never had that, and that's why I had mum in me. I had more mum than dad. I think the brothers had more dad. Someone said something, let's do this way. Like, let's sort it this way. But I'd go, all right, if you're going to slap me here, I'd turn the other way. Here, slap me here again. It's going to make me stronger. You know what I mean? And that's why God always says to me, Andrew, humble yourself and I'll give you everything. Have a look what I've got to you. 80 acres, 16 horses, a lovely wife, great children. What more could I want for? You know what I mean? What more can I want for in life? You know, I don't have many friends, but when I've probably got probably that many friends. That's all I need. I don't need everyone else. But the big thing I find in life, everyone's trying to please other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to please other people. Please yourself.
Sometimes doing that, you're hurting yourself because you're trying to please other people. Because you're doing stuff you don't want to do.
Everyone does it. Everyone does it. Everyone's trying to please the other people. Don't do it. Like, that's what I say to my kids. You're not out to please them. You're out to please your children. That's the domino effect I see.
And how did you start healing? What was the first instance? How did you?
Healing's the best thing ever. For me, healing's the best thing ever. And breaking barriers down within our walls, we're just going to be freer. I find we can walk out there and be free, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is good. My first healing was Christ. My wife, praise to God I met her, because I think it must be me meeting her, because she's been a Christian all her life. All her life. And that's why she broke down barriers with her father, I think, and told her mother as well. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have Christ in my life, I would have fell off the edge. I was easy falling off the edge because my dad traumatised me and showed me tough love. You know what I mean? Tough love. Actually, tough love. But Leona humbled me. She just brought me down to earth and said, Drew, if you don't do this, you're going to lose us all. You know, because I had a rocky path going through my career because I had my father coming out of me. Thought I was you know, and I had everything at my feet. Everything at my feet. Whatever I wanted, I got. You know what I mean? Especially being a high-profile person, they'll go, yep. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? But it's not teaching anybody. You've got to humble yourself, I find. Like I said, if you can't look yourself in the mirror, and walk away and see that image, you've lost. You'll never find yourself.
Mm.
That's why God always humbles me every day. Well, I chase him. I chase him because I can't do it without him. Because he guides me. He guides me and puts me in directions. You know what I mean? Like, and I ask for him, God, I need you. I'm your vessel. I'm your vessel. Like you show me your life through me. And look what he's doing. Like, he's giving us 80 acres, horses, which we want to start a retreat on. I'm just at the moment, I've got a mate in Melbourne that's got tiny homes. We're putting a couple of tiny homes on the property because it's a rural area, so it's on wheels. And we're going to have retreats, you know what I mean, where people come out and just hear God or hear nature.
Yeah, nature.
Get away from the
No
suburbia.
street lights,
Nothing. Especially for cultural people. You know what I mean? For us Indigenous people, we're cultural people.
Spiritual people.
Yeah, spiritual, cultural people. We're starting to lose our identity. And it's sad. You know what I mean? Like, it's really sad. Like, that's why I love the New Zealand people, because they fought for their land and they got it. And that's why over here I'll fight for what I should own. 80 acres. My bush. This is my country. You know, that's mine. All mine. No one else can take it off me. So that's why I want to bring my grandkids up to that environment and love God and push them forward in a better life.
Yeah.
Thank God my wife, you know what I mean? She was a Christian all her life. I don't know how she bloody found me, but she did. I think it was by God going, take this young kid and show him a better life. And I think that's how it was, and it still is to this day.
Going back to your football career, you had your struggles, your bad moments. Take us back then.
Well, when you're Indigenous, you make it, everyone's trying to chop you down. Even your own culture. Chop you down because they don't want anyone to succeed. No one. It's jealousy. It's all about jealousy. I had my highs and lows. Loved my highs, liked my highs, but loved my lows. Because you know what? They wouldn't have made me the person who I am right now. Because they're the strengths I used to work on, the lows. Why would you want to do that? What did you do? You just wrecked your whole career. But to me, money wasn't. Everyone thinks money's going to solution. Money will get me out of this. Money will get me out of that. You know what? I hated money because I knew what it turned people into. Greed. I'm glad I actually went bankrupt because I'm so glad because I didn't see myself until I got to here. I knew this person up here, but when I got to here, I found out who this person really was on your lows. Money's not everything to me. I hate money to this day. Hate it. But money will get you by, but everyone's looking for, if I had that. You got to deal with what you have and treasure what you have because life's too short. Yeah. I just find life's too bloody short, you know, with the highs and lows. I've learnt a lot from the lows because it makes you a better person. Like cocaine. Look, everyone's on a high up here having the cocaine. Never took cocaine in my life. Last game of the season. Hang around the wrong crowd. Hang around the wrong, never took it in my life. Hang around the wrong crowd. Yeah, that crowd thought, oh, I'm your mate. But after I got lifted, after I got caught, you find out who your mates really were. There was only one person. You know what I mean? He wasn't part of that crew, but he come in and grabbed me and went, Drew. And he still is my mate today, Billy Bashford. And I love him for that because there was one person that gave a shit about me as a person. Because I was down and out. Mm-hmm. Like, I brought my name down. My name was here, then it's down here. But I looked at my family. What happened? My kids copped it at school. My kids copped it. That's what the low part was. My kids absolutely, your father's a drug cheat. Your father's a drug cheat. And they copped it. And that was the lowest point of my life. Because I knew I affected not just me, and I didn't even look at it behind the scenes until they come home, Dad, I got expelled today because of this. And I went, right, that's because of me. That was the lowest point.
And you were banned for 2 years?
Yeah, it was.
What was that 2 years like? Obviously, you just shared some of those moments, but what did you do in those 2 years?
Well, in them 2 years, right, we sold up. I moved out to a place called Wiseman's Ferry. I actually bought a place out there. Bought a place at Wiseman's. And I went to the NRL and said, look, I'm in a league. And I said, I want to get back. And they said, nah, you can't get back. This is honest. You can't get back. And I said, well, I want to get back to the people right now. I know I mucked up. I want to give back. Did they give a shit about this little black fella? Nah. Beat it, pal. That's how humble I was. I wanted to give back. I went, I know I mucked up, but can you hear me out? I want to give back to the next Indigenous person. It's all about who they want to be. And well, all people, Michael Brutner, fair dinkum. Couldn't have played football with marbles on, you know. Couldn't even play marbles, that kid. And he was the one that played in 5'8" that year when I made the Kangaroos. And I went, oh, please. And it's all about jealousy too. You know what I mean? Like in this world, like black fellas weren't supposed to do this, do that, or have that. To this day, you still don't. But have a look at me, like what I have. You know what I mean? It's priceless.
So you made the Kangaroos team in 1996. You never played for New South Wales?
No. Would have loved to play for New South Wales. That's the pinnacle. Playing for Australia is not the pinnacle. State of origin is the pinnacle. Everyone should know that because you're playing the best of the best. If you're in that category, playing the best of the best, this is the time to shine. I would love to go righto. It's a little bit more rivalry too with the state of origin theme. Yeah, you know, I reckon I would have excelled. But again, politics. You can't have too many blackfellas in New South Wales. But Queensland can have 5 and win 8 in a row. You know what I mean? Like New South Wales can different kettle of fish down there.
Back in that era, you played alongside Nathan Blacklock, awesome winger for St George there. Other good players that I remember, blackfellas, Dave Peachy.
Yeah, good play.
Anthony Mundine, Chock. I think Chock played one game.
He did.
Scored a try, set a try up, something like that.
And turfed.
Yep. Yeah. He's the only blackfella that I can remember that.
You know what?
Origin.
I'll tell you something. Me and Matty Singh made history. We were the 2 only blackfellas in the Kangaroo side. You know that? We made history.
Yeah.
that 96 year, I went with the kangaroos over the Papua New Guinea. They put it in the paper because I brought it up. I actually brought it up. I went, wow, 2 blackfellas in a kangaroo. Well, you never see that. Back then, you would not never see. We made history. Me and Matty Singh played in a kangaroos together. Like, that's how that was politics. You know what I mean? Queensland didn't see politics. Queensland just saw how good these people were. That's why they were 8 in a row. 8 in a row. When have you seen so many blackfellas in, you know what I mean, or Indigenous people? You know what I mean? In New South Wales. No, you can't. You'll only see Natrell. You probably see Spencer Leniu, you know what I mean? Like, who else is there? Connor Watson, you know what I mean? Like, but he's half caste, you know? Like, if the law come in, they'd take him right now, you know? But that's how it was, T.
Obviously, you can't. Yeah. There's something that I found this morning. Well, I'll read this out because so I don't stuff this up. You explain about that you pretty much don't have any regrets, and that one thing that I've really taken in what you said is you've pretty much embraced your lows because they're your learnings. You've learned from it. The phrase, arma feti, it's a Latin word.
Mm-hmm.
Have you know that?
I know of it, yeah.
I only just saw it this morning. I thought, how cool is that? The love of fate, or love your fate. It was pretty much your principles of what you embrace, you take in, accept your lows as learnings and move forward, a stoic type person.
It's like anybody, T. Like, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you'll go around the same mountain. You're going around the same mountain. You're going to walk the same track every time. You're not going to deviate off that. One day you will learn. It might just click. You'll take a different path. But taking a different path is you've got to change attitudes. You've got to change ways, because the old ways weren't working. I had to make a lot of sacrifices, like friends. Like, I had a lot of friends, good friends, that I had to cut off if I was going to move forward in life. Like, friends will come and go. You know, friends will come and go. Like, you find out your real friends when you're down and out. That's when you find your real friend. When you're down and out to your lowest. Because once you're up here on a pedestal, everyone wants to know you. You fall, you find your real friends, real mates, who will be there for you. And that's why I only got 3 friends. 3 friends. My mate Brad, Brett, and my wife. They're my best friends ever.
Yeah.
They're my best friends. I can go to them, I can break down, I can cry to them, and they're not going to judge me.
Yeah.
They're not going to judge me. They're going to just, righto, wipe them tears, get up, let's go forward. And that's what I want. I don't want them to go pity party. What's that teaching anybody? It's no pity party. Like, if you're giving somebody a pity party, what do you reckon they're going to do? Go and cry next week to the next person and get that pity party. That's why people got to learn. And like I said, you keep walking around that same track, I'm telling you, you'll never get off it. But if you get off that track, you got to break a lot of other barriers.
You got to take accountability.
You always got to take accountability, but you got to break down within yourself on what you really want. Like friends. Like, I had to break down a lot of friends. I had too many friends that each to their own, I say, each to their own, but these are the 3 I want in my life. These are the 3, you know, these are the 3 I want in my life, because they're going to They're going to do this for me. They're going to do this for me. They're going to do that. They're going to build me. They're going to correct me, you know, and Leanna's going to put me in my spot. You know, if I'm stupid, like Leanna go, babe, come on. You know what I mean? And that's all you need. My best mate, he'll go, Drew, do not get that attitude. And my other mate, he loves bushwalking. He goes, we need culture. He goes, get that back in you. Get that back in you. Take your dogs for a walk. That's all I need. They're the three little things that I stick by. Because everyone's out there trying to please everyone. See? Everyone's out there to please the next person. Or with the women, I found. With the women, they dress not to dress for us. They dress for the other ladies. Because that's what I said to my wife, T. I said, can I watch? If we're ever going to do it? She goes, wake up yourself, you idiot, you know. Wake up yourself. You know I'm not like that. And I said, I know why you dress. The dress, it's not for me. She'll dress for the next lady. They're the things you've got to learn. Like I learned through my career, well, and through my whole life. Like us blokes would, like I dress because I want to look good. I don't dress because I have, you know, I love this shirt, this old shirt, you know what I mean? I dress because I want people to look at me and go, wow, what a strong black person this man is. And I do weights. I keep my body fit. I train, everything else. Because you know what? I'm a leader. I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader. I want to see the other kids. It's all about image. Because my daughters think, oh, I want to be her. And I said, that's filtered. That's filtered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? True. It's filtered.
Yep.
Be you. Be the best version of you. And I tell you, it'll happen. You know, it'll happen. And that's why I said, I'm going to be the best version of me. I want to find the best version of Andrew. Because I never had it. But now I have it. Mate, I love it. Because I can look at myself in the mirror and walk away and go, I know who I just saw. I know who I saw. I know the vision. And that's how I want my kids to be and my grandkids to be.
That's awesome.
Who's made the biggest impact in your life?
The biggest impact is my lovely wife. Without her, I'm lost. You know what I mean? I'm lost, absolutely lost. You know, I love her to this day, and I'll still love her when we're up there together. You know, because without her, well, I always tell her, you're my backbone, and I'll always be the wishbone. You know what I mean? I'm wishing, you know, I'm wishing. But she's my backbone. She's my tree. She keeps me grounded, rooted.
I love that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
I'm your wishbone. You're my backbone. You're my I'm your wishbone.
Yeah. Like, I'm a wishbone, you know what I mean? But she's my backbone. Yeah. Like, to be honest. And she's my tree. She keeps me grounded. She keeps me grounded. And I love plucking fruit off her every time it comes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love plucking fruit off her. Because I'll tell you, it's so freeing for myself in my mind, like, and free in my heart, because a lot of people hurt. And if we can't control this, if this is hurting, we're not gonna heal. That's why I go to her for humbleness. I go to her for humbleness. I go, babe, I'm having a bad day here. You're gonna have to help me. She go, what? What is it? Well, I know hate's a big word, but I dislike that person. You know what I mean? Well, she said, pray for him. Pray for him. Oh, do I really have to do that? You know what I mean? Do I have to really do that? Yes. You watch tomorrow, you'll feel humbled. And that's how it is. The healing just goes.
I think in a relationship too, in TikTok I've seen the other day, I think I showed you, Renee, about in a relationship there's a healer and a healee.
Yep.
And the healer, they're not. It's not like they're trying to heal you. then they're just, it's that they have the energy about them. They just being with that person heals you. And I find that with Renee, she's that person for me. And I remember when I first met her, I used to always say to her, "You calm me, you calm me," and that was just her aura and her energy just calm me. And I think that's great for a person to have that person in their life that does that for them.
Because what it is, T, for us, we're 120 miles an hour. We want this one. The owner goes, "Wait there, put the handbrake on, my boy, slow down." And I go, "Really?" And then I think about it. And then it just happens. We want to go, yep.
Yeah.
But she just, slow down. What she does to me, slow down, listen. Go for a walk. Get out there and take your dogs for a walk. Get out there. You'll hear them. Something will tell you to slow down. Slow ourselves down. Because every person in this world, like I said, we're in it not for ourselves. We're in it for the next person. We're in it for the next person, but we're on speed 24/7. A whole lot of it. Every person's on speed. I want to go. It's like working. Like, I've got to get this to have the money. Money will make me this. Money won't make you happy. Money will just bring you down and go, "Oh shit, I've got more bills to pay, more bills to pay, more bills to pay." Slow down. That's my best approach to anybody. Slow down. Think about your thoughts. Think about it. And do not dress successfully for the next person. Dress successfully for yourself. For yourself, your family, and the ones that care. That's how my life changed around for the better. And I love my life. That's why I got that great Nepal with my kids. They're ringing me all the time. Like, I miss that,
You've probably got 10 missed calls already.
I probably have, Like, I always said, like, when I was in the dark, in the dark spot, never had time for them. Never had time. Now, they see me with my eyes are open, clear. "Dad, I need you more than ever. Dad, I need you more than ever." Like, free phone calls, you know what I mean? Like, just this morning, they missed me. I was with my other daughter this morning, stayed at her place, and I've got two others ringing me, and the son, "Dad, what are you doing?" And last night I went to Dylan's football game. They got beat last night, and he's, "Dad, on the phone, what did we do wrong?" And and I went, "Well, this is what you done wrong, and this is what you done right." They're actually starting to see me as Andrew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like their father. Before, they didn't see me as their father.
Sports star.
No, they saw me as Pop.
Yeah.
Pop. They knew I was a sports star, but they saw me as Pop. That hard old bastard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be like him. Now they're seeing me as Dad, Andrew. This is you. This is the real you. Like, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for the world, T. I have to work on their men. I have to work on their men.
I think we live the same life.
Yeah, I have to work on their men. I'll ask them 25 questions. 25 questions. But it's a work in progress, T. You know. But we're there just to pick the pieces up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're there just to pick the pieces up. Like, we got to let them fall, I think.
Yeah.
We have to let them fall. We have to let them fall. But we actually got to be there to pick the pieces up.
Just support too. Like, just support. Like, I've learnt for myself, being father stuff, you know, when your kids, it doesn't even have to be your kids, anyone that reaches out to you and tells you the problem that they're going through. And we automatically think that we've got to try and solve it for them.
Yep.
Rather than they just want to vent. And then if anything, just say at the end of it, is there anything you want me to do? Is there anything I can
That's
do?
a really good question to you. Like, how I really found my kids, all I had to do is to have ears for them. Ears. Just have the bin arms. They're crying out. They're crying out for us. But we think we've got to be, rah, 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 don't let them speak, rah, rah, rah. All I did is just let them speak. Let them speak. And then I just wouldn't say anything, and they're going, Dad, I need your advice. Yeah, I will. I'll give it to you in a minute. I'm listening. And then it just...
When did you start having those breakthrough moments with your children?
Probably about 2 years ago, really, to be honest. Like, every father wants to cry out. No, well, they're crying out for their kids to come. But we got to humble ourselves. We got to humble ourselves. Because they know we're the head of the snake. Well, I don't say snake because they're a little bit, you know. But I say we are the head of the snake. But if the head's cut off, what's the snake do? It wriggles around. If we can't be humble and listen and learn and be there for them, but I find I'm all ears for my kids. When they speak, righto, speak. If you're hurting, then I'll sit back, reflect, and then I'll come back to them. But I always say to them, I love you. I love you. I love you. I'll love you. I'll always love you. Love conquers all. I keep saying that, and they go, yeah, Dad, you say it too much, you know what I mean? But I say, I love you. I'll keep saying it to them until my tongue's cut out or until I shut my eyes. Because you know what? Love conquers all. In our culture part, we never got that from our fathers. Maybe got that from our mothers. But we always looked up to our fathers. We always looked up to our fathers going, I want that. I want him to love me, you know. But we had to do it the hard, his old way. All we wanted, me and you, both of us, all we wanted, Dad, how was that today? Did I play a good game? Or, yep, I love you. My father never told me he loved me, not once. Not even when I made it. I'm so proud of you, son. My mum did it. And that's where I went. That's where the shackles I started breaking off. I went, I can't humble him. I'll let him be. I'll let him wither in the darkness. But over here's the light, I see. I'll follow that.
Okay. We like to ask the question, if your younger self was listening to this, what would you tell them?
Where did that bloody wisdom come from? You know what I mean? My younger self listening to this, I'd take a lot out of it. Because, to be honest, when you're older, you learn a lot. You learn so much. When you're young, you think you know this, know that, know this. But it sets you up. But along the way, I think being elder humbles us. Just humbles us. Like we've got the same us blokes have got the same speed still. But if our elderness humbles us, I think, just humbles, like slows the process down a bit. Like stop, like we're turning the cog real fast. But as the older we get, I think we just slow it down. We're starting to listen more, I think, more listen. And the more you listen, I find the more you're going to learn. Because I found that early in my age, being a cultural person, I've been a black person in a white world. They already put you, I'll play that card with you. Just listen. My mum said, humble yourself, listen. Always listen. And you'll get what you want in this world. And which I have. I could have the world I really wanted it, but I don't want it. I could have the world. I've got my world. You know, my family, a beautiful family that's healthy, beautiful grandkids, 80 acres for the lovely wife, you know what I mean? Happy life, happy wife. You know, she got her horses. But for me, it's all about family. I'm lost without my family. And that's all I wanted, family that loved me.
Yeah.
When you played, just going back a bit, I just remember when you were playing for the Wallabies, I think it was, a couple of times you went walkabout
Yep.
to golf.
Mm.
What was that moment for? Like, went through a lot at that time, going through a lot.
Look, when I was at high professional, I did not give two rats. Everyone thought, this is the world. Once you make it, this is the world. That wasn't my world. That wasn't my world. That was just a little proportion of my world. But it's how the media carried it out to be. I was an axe murderer. I jumped ship from. I blame it on the Wallabies. Why would we have a cultural night, a bonding night, to getting on the drink? It's always getting on the drink. Let's have a bonding night. Oh, right, get on the drink. Get on the drink. Get on the drink. With us blackfellas, there's no off switch. See, they don't know culture. There's no off switch because it's not in our DNA. It's not in our DNA. I drunk till the cows come home that morning. I was on the high. I had that much money. I can do whatever I want. I was getting shouted. I was getting this. I was getting that. But I went, oh, shit. I've come home drunk. My wife and that was at the camp. I said to him, I don't like this life. I said to him, I don't like this life. I don't like living the life like the highlight. I don't want to do it anymore. So we jumped in our car. We drove 9 hours home to Canberra. Time I got on my farm, there was a helicopter on my farm. And they wanted to do it. And I went, what? I'm no ex-murderer. I've just missed a training session from the Wallabies. But the thing was, I told Glenn Ella. Glenn Ella was our backs coach. I said, mate, I can't do this no more. But did Glenn speak up for me? Not one iota. Because he didn't want to wreck his reputation. You know, he didn't want to wreck his reputation. He didn't want to go in, oh, Andrew told me this, Andrew told me. We were 3 months gone. And I told Glenn, I said, I'm a family man. You should know I'm a family man. I need to see my family. I told him, I said, mate, on the way home, we were flying back to Perth to play South Africa. We come from South Africa to New Zealand, went back to New Zealand, come to Australia, haven't been home, haven't seen my family, flew back to New Zealand, then we were flying over to Perth. And I said, on the way home, let me stop in for the night and see the family, and I'll be there the next day or a couple of days. Glenn, can you tell him this? Eddie Jones. I said, Glenn, I'm going. I told him at the airport, I said, I'm going. I don't give a shit. I'm going. Because if I'm not happy in here, you're not going to get the best of me. You're not going to get the best of me.
Well, don't you think you could have spoke to Eddie Jones? Like, you were close, you played together with him.
Eddie Jones was the head coach. That's why the backs coach that was Indigenous, he must have understood me.
Yeah.
He would have had to understand. You know the first person I went to? His brother's place, Timmy Ella. And he knew that. He knew I was going straight to Timmy's. And that's where Leona picked me up from. That's how good Glenn Ella is. He knew it, because me and Timmy were like that. I hung up with Timmy more than Glenn. He knew I was going to Timmy's because he said, I knew where you was. I said, you know where I was going. Straight to Timmy's, and Leona was coming up from Canberra to pick me up. That's how that was. And I said, but Glenn, you got to tell the coach. You got to tell Eddie. Eddie's your best mate. Tell him. He'll understand. He played with blackfellas. He's a Maddo boy. You know what I mean? He's played with the boys. But Glenn, would he open his mouth? Would he open his mouth to the media? Did he open his mouth to Eddie going, well, Walks just needs to go home for a day or two, then you got the best of him.
So was that the first time? There was a second time, was there?
That was the first time.
First time.
That was the first time. The second time was, the first time was the alcohol in Coffs Harbour, where we drove home. Like we had a big camp. And I said, I'm over this. I don't want to be famous anymore. I don't want to be famous. I hated fame.
Was that the bonding night one? That one? Yeah.
We had Bomble having golf, drinking beers, ever going. I went, really? Is this bonding? It's not bonding. We end up fighting each other that night. They call that bonding.
Oh, I think that's bonding for men, isn't it? Fighting.
Fighting, but them fellas don't know how to fight. Yeah. You know, I could have punched piss out of half of them blokes. What's that? And I'm standing there. That's making me feel bad because they're fucking on the ground. You know, that's what it made me feel. It was like that in New Zealand, like that in South Africa with the Brumbies. Peter Ryan and Georgie Smith fighting. And I went, boys, what are you doing?
He's an ex-leaguey too,
Yeah, Rhino. Yeah, they're both ex-leagueies.
Yeah.
One plays for Narrabeen. Georgie Smith was a Narrabeen rugby leaguer. And Peter Ryan was a Bronco, you know. Yeah. And that's boys. I'm standing there with them. Why have we got to fight each other? Let's go and punch the piss out of someone else. These South Africans. You know what I mean? They're the cheekiest of the cheekiest. They think they're the best rugby players ever. I ended up going with Herschel Gibbs, the cricketer. Herschel goes, Walks, come with me and let them two idiots go. So me and Herschel Gibbs, good mates, till this day. He goes, Walks, I'll show you the highlights of South Africa. Oh, mate, we got VIP'd. Yeah, because he was at the pinnacle of his cricket. And I said, how about this, bro? But I'll tell you what, still racist. You know what I mean? That country. Lethal. They put the dogs on you, you know? Put the dogs on you. But I said, if you weren't a high cricketer, you'd be down there with the slumps with all the other boys. He goes, 100% Walks, 100%. And I said, yeah, true, bro. That's why you got to look after it. Always try to humble him a little bit, you know.
That's awesome. Just even hearing the background of these stories of, like obviously there were struggles in your life at the time was where you just couldn't do it. And back then, obviously, they didn't have the, cultural awareness.
They have that. What cultural awareness? We had Glenn in there for cultural awareness, and he still didn't know what cultural awareness was.
Do they have that now? Would you say?
Mate, they'd have everything.
Yeah.
Everything on a platter for them these days. Yeah. For me, they had nothing. I had to find my own feet and find my own, just my own, who I was and find out my identity. Now they got everything on a platter. That's why the rugby union's going broke in Australia. That's why. Because you know what? These kids can't take criticism these days. Bit of criticism, they'll cry, and roll over, and I want this, I want that. They're not as tough. Not as tough as they make out to be. You get them out of their environment. Get them out of their environment. Put them in the world's environment. You watch them crumble because they got this person they can't talk to. They got the media. They got this. They got these blokes can do the talking for you, or people writing out what they got to say. It doesn't come from here.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from here. It comes from other people's words. Yeah. That's the hardest thing about it. Speak your mind. If you speak your mind, you'll find out who you are.
Well, everything's taken away from them. Really, it's the generations made it easy for them.
Well, giving them
everything.
Generations made it easy with the computers.
Yeah.
They lost their identity. They lost who they are. Back in our day, we knew when to go home. You know, back in our day, as soon as that light's on, we're going home.
Yeah.
That's our alarm clock to get home. You know what I mean? Like where all the blokes are. That's where we all are at the front yard.
Yeah.
If you wanted to like try and look for a business, you had to look in the yellow pages and scroll through the yellow pages.
Well, that's right. We had them, you know, them ones we can find the letters.
The letters. Yeah.
That's
And you had to like look for someone's phone number.
But it's all about computers these days. You know what I mean? The computers are really telling the wrong images. It's all about have a look at the ladies. You know, lady looks at a filtered picture. Oh shit, I've got to be like that.
Yeah.
Or a bloke, big buffy. You know what I mean? But he's not that. You know what I mean? Like people, a lot of keyboard warriors these days. Like they won't face reality and won't look another person. Like blokes will not look another person in the eye and have a chat.
Yeah.
Like me and you will, you know, me and you will have a yarn like and look at each other fair square in the eye. If you look a person fair square in the eye, look, come and be with horses and know their language.
Yeah.
Like you'll find out who they are and what they are because they can't talk. They speak with your eyes. Speak with your eyes.
Even just going like in public places, you could be at a bus stop, trains, wherever, in a line, waiting. Everyone's always just looking at their phone. I make a habit just to have my phone in my pocket and just watch everyone on their phone.
I hardly have that on. Like I'll have it because the kids ring me. But what I do, I find a lot of people. You find a lot of people in their eyes. In their eyes. I'll look people deep soul in the eyes, you know, and find out who they really are and what they are. That's how I do it, T. Like I like to look at people and go, really? Because you look at a lot of people now, they're scared. They're scared. Because that's what you watch the news. You look at the news. You go away, sad.
And then watch
You go, shit, really? You know what I mean? Like I don't have TV.
True.
I don't have no TV.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
No, because you know what it does. TV, it's like a computer. Whatever goes on the TV, that's what goes in here.
Yeah.
That's what goes on here.
True that.
And that's what I say. No, don't turn that TV off, son. Turn that TV off, my boy. We're going this way. You want knowledge? I'll give you knowledge. And I'll give you knowledge. I talk about something out in the sticks here. You come on.
True knowledge.
True knowledge. You know what I mean? Like TV will program our minds. You know what I mean? Have a look now. If alarm goes off in a shopping mall, what was that first mother's? Oh, run! If I was in the shopping mall, I'd go, wait, don't run. Don't be scared. Wait, don't be scared. I'll go straight to the first sports store, grab the baseball bat, and I say, you, grab a baseball bat with me, come with me. Don't make all these kids fear. Don't make all these kids fear. What have we got to be feared of? That's what the world is. Because it's the devil. The devil works in wonderful ways, I tell you. Everyone thinks they don't believe in God. And God, I'm telling you, he's there. He'll change your life. He will change your life. You just got to believe it. And have no fear. Like the devil's there to put fear in people's hearts and heads. And that's why people don't get what they want. Because I'm too scared to do that. Oh, I'm too scared to get a bank loan. I've got to work 2 jobs. Wake up yourself. You know what I mean? If you want it, you'll get it. It's like us when we first had our first girlfriends. If we wanted it, what did we do? We chased. We chased. We learnt their behaviour. We learnt better ways to get them. You know what I mean? That's how it is. That's how it is.
It's a closing, last words you want to leave us with? Anything you want to say?
Last things I want to say to you two
Yeah.
is live a blessed life and love each other, because you know what, life's too short, and learn from our mistakes, D. Yeah. Do not don't go back there. Don't even look behind us anymore. Walk forward with our chest out, and knowing who we are. That's all I've got to say. Like, walk forward proud, and do not let fear hold back on anything on what we do in life, because that's what it is. It's all about fear. It's all about fear in life. Like, oh, I can't do that. I can't get that job. You know what I mean? I can't do that. It's like your podcast is going to really take off. You know what I mean? Like you two are really fine tuning what you're going to do here. You're really fine tuning it, because you're going to learn from it. You're learning. It's like anyone. It's like me, football. I make mistakes to learn. You know, I make mistakes to learn. If I can't learn off that, I'm a lost person, T. I tell you, this is really going to bump it up. Yeah, I tell you.
Especially having someone like yourself come on our podcast.
Just speak real,
yeah,
T.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pretenders out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't open up. A lot of people won't tell you the truth. They'll tell you what you want to hear, but they won't open up.
That's where I find, for me, what I've learned, and I've really taken it on board in the last few years, and I tell this to my kids all the time, people will say things to you and you don't know whether they're telling the truth or not, but their actions will tell you the truth. That's all you need to know. The actions will tell you the truth. And if they're lying to you, it'll get revealed. It'll get exposed by the actions.
Like they say, you can never lie to a liar. I always say that. I said, I was a liar. You can never lie to me. I was a liar. You know what I mean? Or I was a cheater. I'd tell them. But what it is, T, you always get caught out anyways. No matter what. Like, maybe not now, it's down the track, you probably will.
So what's Andrew Walker life now, and how are you?
Andrew Walker's life now is so excellent, because you know what? I'm so proud of being me. Just being me. Because if I don't, you know what? I'm happy to wake up just breathing in the morning. But I get up, smile at the world, and ring my kids and give them the hardest time ever. The hardest time ever. Because I want that to go, Dad, you were a shithead the other week. I love that shit. Like, I'm on this world to be a pest to my wife and my children. Because you know what? Because they're going to miss it one time. They're going to miss it. And I really hope at my grave, you know what I mean, they're talking about me. You know, saying, my dad done this, my dad done that. Not just my dad was an alcoholic or whatever. I want my kids to go, my dad was the proudest dad ever of me, and he loved me. Yeah, that's all I want in life, to love my children and to help them to well, I'm here to pick the pieces up with them. I'm not going to teach, I don't want to teach them. I want them to learn from their own mistakes, but I just guide them along the way, guide them. All right, you learnt from that. All right, you haven't learned from that last one, haven't you? You know, like, we're just here to pick the pieces up with them. That's me and my wife, because they got their own lives to live, but I'm just here to pick the pieces up and support them when they're down, but wipe the tears and go, get up your feet and let's go again. Because I take it out of my leaf, out of my career. When I was down and out, hurt, no, I didn't make that side or did not do that, I didn't cry me a river. I took it as an insult. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. All right. You reckon I'm not going to get this? I've just learned how to get it when you spoke. You know, you've already put me in a category. You've already put me in a category. All right. All I've got to do is listen, humble myself. Oh, is that how you get the is that how you get the grants? Is that how you do that? Is that how you do your business? And I walk away. Have a good day, people. Have a good day. I'll see you down the track. And then they're going, wow, he's got this, he's got that. And then they're going, how? Humble yourself. Humble. Just be humble. Be humble and be true to yourself. And if you want something, don't be frightened to get it. Don't be frightened to get it. It's like us when we've chased our girlfriends' tea, you know, like we've always, we learnt their trades or, you know. It's a bit similar.
Just one last thing before we close. It would just be, advice to. I know your passion is like youth, younger people.
Yep.
Advice for them. What advice?
Look, there's never any dumb questions out there. Don't be frightened to say it. And for young people, it's all about shame. Shame. And I can't do that. I tell my kids there's no such thing as can't. It's a can. Can. We can do this. What's shame? Nothing shame. All black fellas say it's shame job, like asking. No way. Go and ask that question because there's no dumb question in this world. Because if you can't learn from it, and get out of our old ways of putting black fellas down or same cultures down. Build each other. Just build each other and love each other because there's bad enough out in this world. It's bad enough out in this world. We're fighting a good fight, but we're fighting it against ourselves. It's all about jealousy. That's all it is, jealousy. Because I've got this, you haven't got this, I've got this. Who cares what we got? But what we have, we make the most of it. That's that's the only advice I can do, only give you is because just love yourself and no such thing as can't. And this shame stuff, get it out of your vocabulary. Like shame, there's no shame. No shame.
Well, thank you. It's been such a honour to have you here with us today, and thank you so much. You've shared a lot. I'm sure the public out there would love to hear your story, and it's not your football story. It's you. It's behind the athlete. You get to see this of Andrew Walker.
That's the thing about people. They don't want to get to know the people. They want to know the sporting highlights, but they really don't want to know the individual person. If you get to know the individual person, they go, wow, he's a good bloke.
Yeah, well, I want to make this more not too much on your career, but on your life behind that, and how you got there, and the struggles and the challenges you had along the way, and when you had your dark moments and things like that. So they're the things I was hoping for you to share, which you did. So I appreciate you opening up to us, and love your walks.
Tell you, love you, brother. Like until the day I die, you know that. Yeah. But I love what you two are doing. You know what I mean? You're going to break a lot of barriers down in people, and you're going to go really far with this.